All right, let's talk about account abstraction. Now, if you're a security leader at Dev and DeFi, you've probably heard this term thrown around. But I want to be super clear. This is not just another UX upgrade. This is a ground-up rethinking of Ethereum's entire security model. And understanding its implications, well, it's going to be absolutely critical for you and your projects. So let's get into it.
So here's the plan. First, we're going to look at why Ethereum's current accounts are, well, kind of risky. Then we'll get into the two big ideas for fixing it. After that, the really juicy part for you security pros, what are the new attack surfaces? We'll wrap up with the big question, should your project jump on the AA train, and take a peek at where this is all headed.
Okay, first things first, we have to talk about the problem we're trying to solve. And that problem is the good old externally owned account, the EOA. You know, your standard MetaMask wallet. The issue? It's basically a digital bearer bond. The entire security model boils down to one thing, a single private key. And that makes it a massive single point of failure.
And this quote, it just hits the nail on the head, right? We're asking normal people, not just cypherpunks, to guard a string of characters with their life savings. Forever. There's no IT department to call, no forgot my password link. You slip up once and poof, it's all gone. Let's be honest, that's just not going to fly for mass adoption.
So, what's the alternative? This table lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got the EOA, rigid, all-or-nothing control tied to one key. No recovery, super basic. But look at the right side, the smart contract account. This is the future. Instead of a key, it's controlled by programmable code. What does that mean? It means you can build in sophisticated security like multi-sig or spending limits. You can actually have account recovery, and you can do cool stuff like batching transactions. This is the core idea behind account abstraction, turning your account from a simple vault into a programmable, intelligent agent.
Okay, so we all agree smart accounts are the way to go. The big question is, how do we actually make them happen? Right now, there are two main paths forward, two competing or maybe complementary visions. You've got ERC 4337, which is an application layer approach, and the new kid on the block, EIP 7702, which tackles it at the protocol layer itself.
Let's start with ERC 4337. The really clever thing about this one is that it works right now, without any changes to the core Ethereum protocol. It's like a smart overlay network. So here's the flow. Instead of a normal transaction, a user creates what's called a user operation. Think of it as a wish, or an instruction of what you want to happen. This gets sent to a separate pool of these user ops. From there, new off-chain actors called bundlers grab a bunch of them, package them up, and submit them to a single, global smart contract called the entry point. That entry point contract is the traffic cop. It validates everything and then executes the user's wish. And check out that last step. Another new role, the paymaster, can even step in and pay for the user's gas. Pretty cool, right?
All right, now for EIP 772. This one is totally different. It's slated for the next big Ethereum upgrade, Pectra. And it's a change to the core rules of the network. The big idea here is that instead of making a new smart account, you can temporarily give your existing EOA superpowers. For just one transaction, you can let a smart contract wear your EOA like a costume and act on its behalf. It's a way to get all the benefits of smart contract logic without having to migrate all your funds to a new address.
And this table just lays out the trade-offs beautifully. Look, ERC 4337 is application level. That's why it's already live and kicking. But the downside is it relies on this new off-chain infrastructure of bundlers and paymasters, which adds complexity and new things you have to trust. EIP 7702 is native, baked right into the protocol. That makes it way cleaner, probably more efficient, and you don't need all that extra infrastructure. The catch? We have to wait for a hard fork. So you can see they're not really fighting each other. They solve the problem in different ways, and we'll likely see a future where both coexist. Okay, now for the part you've all been waiting for. This is the security briefing. We're adding all this amazing new functionality, but as every security pro knows, new functionality means new attack surfaces. So let's put on our black hats and figure out what can go wrong.
So this is the big question, right? We're trading one major, well-understood risk, losing a private key, for a whole new set of complex, emerging risks. What are they exactly? Let's dig into each model.
With ERC 4337, your threat model just exploded. You're not just auditing your own contracts anymore. Suddenly, you have to worry about things like bundler centralization. What if only a few big players run bundlers? They could censor you. What about a malicious paymaster? It could grief your users. But the absolute biggest new target?
is that validate user auth function inside the smart account itself. If there's a bug in that custom signature logic, it's game over. That's the new front door for attackers. Now for EIP 7702, the risk profile shifts. It's less about external infrastructure and more about the delegation itself. You're essentially telling a user, hey, hand over the keys to your account to this other smart contract for a minute. So the immediate questions are, how much power are you giving it? Is that delegated contract absolutely bulletproof? Because any vulnerability there is a direct vulnerability for the user's entire account. And this is a big one, don't forget that the original EOA private key is still the God mode key. It can always override any smart contract rule you set up.
All right, so we've seen the tech, we've seen the risks, now we get to the brass tacks. For you, running a DeFi project, what's the play here? Should you go all in on account abstraction? Let's weigh it out.
Look, it really boils down to this. The upside is massive. The user experience is just night and day better. Things like sponsoring gas for new users or combining approve and swap into one click, that's how you onboard the next wave of people. But the downside is just as real. This is not a weekend project. It's a heavy engineering lift. It dramatically expands your security audit scope, and you're building on an ecosystem where the tooling is frankly still being built. This is a major strategic decision, not just a feature flag you turn on.
So let's pull back for a second and look at the big picture. Because what we're talking about here isn't just a better wallet. This is a total paradigm shift. The wallet of the future isn't just a wallet anymore. It's programmable.
And this isn't some niche, far-off thing. The growth is already explosive. People are predicting we could see 200 million smart accounts by the end of 2025. The momentum is undeniable, and it's all because of what this new programmability makes possible.
And this is where your mind should really start racing. When a wallet becomes programmable, it stops being a bank account and starts being a platform. Think about it. You could have AI agents managing your DeFi positions with strictly defined rules. You could give a game session keys that are only valid for an hour, so you're not signing every single little action. Subscriptions, automated bill pay, all from your self-custody wallet. The design space just opens up completely.
So that leaves us with the final and maybe most important question. Your user's wallet is evolving from a simple key holder into an extensible platform. The old security model of protect the private key at all costs just doesn't cut it anymore. So the question I want to leave you with isn't about which EIP to support. It's about looking at your entire security architecture and asking, is our model ready for a world where every single one of our users has a programmable wallet?